Despite today's deadly terrorist attack, the U.S. airlifted out more than 13,000 people today. About 1,000 Americans still remain, though, in Afghanistan, working alongside our government. There are private groups devoted to getting those out who worked closely with the U.S. over the past 2 decades. Anna Delvlantes is an investigative journalist and WGN radio host here in Chicago, and here to talk tonight about one man's mission that just got a lot more urgent given the events of today.
No doubt about it, Marnie. As we think of the lives lost tonight, the fate of those still there just became even more uncertain. Their situation more dire. Efforts to get Americans and our Afghan allies out of that region got far more complicated tonight, say those who are actually doing it, trying to extract these people right now as we speak. Behind the scenes, there are these groups of ex-military all across the country. They're working to try to get Afghan allies out. They've got this network on the ground there in Afghanistan, and they have been running these humanitarian special ops style missions. These are apolitical missions. They're self-funded, and they've been incredibly successful. John Shattuck is one of those ex-military humanitarians who's working with his network still tonight. He told me after those explosions outside the airport, many more desperate people are reaching out to him, pleading with him to try to help get them out of Afghanistan. We do have some video here he provided of one family his team successfully pulled out of the region yesterday after a family member was killed by the Taliban trying to join them. It is a family of 11 there in the crowd, an Afghan driver and interpreter who worked for the United States. His wife and young children, in fact, the whole family, were met with absolute chaos trying to evacuate even before the attacks today. So that was the chaotic scene before these attacks. These red flares that you saw there dispersing the crowds, that's what they were trying to do near the airport. You heard some gunshots maybe being fired there. Just chaos. The family was knocked to the ground in the crush of people. Now remember, these people they're extracting are vetted allies with documents known as SIVs, those special immigration visas. They're people told by the U.S. government if they serve our country for a period of time and complete certain paperwork, they'll be granted visas to the United States. Marnie, John Shattuck told us his team has successfully gotten out 150 people to safety, but now they're just not sure what's going to happen. Yesterday, their largest concern was the Taliban, not today. But even then, he told us the Taliban was nowhere near following the rules set by the U.S. government for evacuations.
Think about what you just asked. 3 weeks ago, they were our enemy, and now we've allowed them to be the pre-screeners for SIV paperwork. Well, let me tell you this. We have documented, we had operations where we had some of the folks go ahead and go through those checkpoints as per their directive, and they were slaughtered. So we have several groups of families that have been assassinated in doing so, and these are people who had their paperwork.
Mm-hmm. You heard it there. Shattuck says he and his team are going to work through the night just to see how many they can get out. He says his biggest fear tonight, Marnie, is that he knows there are only a matter of hours or days left, and he just fears what happens to those who don't get out.
Right. Will he continue to try after August 31st?
Yeah, I think, I know the Biden administration talked today about how the evacuation efforts continue. It's just there are too many people to possibly get out in that time. So these are ex-military guys, and they're finding ways, they say, to try to do what they can.
Right. And so many with all of the documentation that they need still not allowed to go
Still
through.
Turned away, still had all kinds of experiences with the Taliban and not getting anywhere near the airport. It's truly agonizing to hear their stories. And he says tonight he literally has people in tears calling him saying, "You are our last hope." That's where it stands.
It's devastating. Anna, thank you.